my spot, so deranged. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. Third degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Ran wishes with these bitches. Taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Welcome to Assembly of Excellence. Shout outs to my poets, writers, content creators, my actors, my writers, all of y'all. Much love to you. Wednesday's right around the corner. I hope y'all getting through y'all week. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to take my time with this one. I'm not about to rush through it. I see a lot of people having a conversation about this. I didn't know it was this bad, but apparently it is. For those of you who are not familiar with the story, I do have a clip that I'm going to play. I got two I'm going to play, matter of fact. One of them talks about the woman of the hour. The second one talks about a group of individuals who they see this case and they seem to have more empathy towards the suspect than the actual victims, the children who actually lost their life in this whole thing. Man, it's absolutely fucking nuts to me. So look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this clip. It's like 6-7 minutes. I might not even play all of it, just enough of it to give you context, just in case, because like even me, I only heard some of it. But like I'm seeing more and more discussions on it, so I figured I might as well go ahead and chime in and give my 2 cents for the record. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let the clip roll, and yeah, let's get it.
Trial of Massachusetts mother Lindsay Clancy has brought renewed attention to mental health issues, and specifically a condition known as postpartum psychosis, a rare but severe mental health condition. Our Stephanie Sy has more.
That's right, Amna. Lindsay Clancy is on trial for killing her 3 children in 2023. Her now ex-husband found the children strangled in the basement and Clancy injured from an apparent suicide attempt. All the children were under the age of 5, and Clancy is now paralyzed from the waist down. Her defense lawyer says she was experiencing postpartum psychosis, which can cause delusions, but prosecutors are charging that she acted intentionally.
This was a woman who acted intentionally, rationally, and swiftly to accomplish a very specific goal: to kill.
This is a woman that did not get the medication, did not get the medical treatment that she so deserved. This is a woman that was suffering from psychosis at the time that she went down to that basement.
Postpartum depression is not uncommon, but postpartum psychosis affects only about 1 in 1,000 women. For more, we're joined now by Dr. Julia Riddle, a psychiatrist who focuses on reproductive mental health at the University of North Carolina Center for Women's Mood Disorders. Dr. Riddle, thank you so much for joining the News Hour. How much do we know about postpartum psychosis and who it is most likely to afflict?
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. The truth is, we don't know enough. We need so much more research and so much more attention. But what we do know, which we've gotten from some registry studies, some Danish registry studies, as well as our own research, is that the people that are highest risk, as you mentioned, so it's about 1 to 2 in 1,000, highest risk seems to be associated with bipolar disorder, because this is an affective disorder, which means a mood disorder. So women with bipolar disorder or a history of postpartum psychosis are at the highest risk. But it's not everybody with bipolar disorder, and there are women who their first episode with any mental health condition will be in the postpartum. So other indicators for that may be a difficult delivery, losing a lot of sleep, okay? or having family members, so family members that have had postpartum psychosis or a family history of bipolar disorder, going back to that being the highest risk. So we don't always know who they are, okay? And we don't always know exactly who to follow, but those are some of our indicators, which does make it a really difficult disease to prevent.
Describe the typical experience of a woman having an episode of postpartum psychosis.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, right, people never read the textbook, so I will do my best to describe this. It is considered usually rapid, so very, very soon after delivery. So woman gives birth, and usually it's within the first few weeks. Family will notice a change. They're acting odd. They don't seem with us. They're a little more detached, or they're more irritable and agitated. So it often looks like confusion, an agitated state, or a manic state. So extra energy, not sleeping being one of the most worrying signs. So you tell them to go lay down and they cannot sleep. You find them pacing, you find them moving things in an odd way. It doesn't quite make sense. This often gets so normalized because if it's the first child, who knows what it's supposed to be like? So irritability, excitability, or it can look like a deep and detached depression.
I'm gonna stop it real quick because I got some questions. First and foremost, to the dad, to everybody that is affiliated with this family in any type of way, you have my deepest sympathies. I would not wish this on anyone. This is heartbreaking. As a woman, when you decide that you're going to procreate with this specific gentleman, then I want to be very transparent and honest about what I'm saying here, because there's things that get missing in translation with these kind of conversations. I'm gonna try to be delicate as possible. One conversation that I know, if you haven't had it, you need to have it in the future. What type of history does you and your family have? Do you have any mental issues? Do you have a history of cancer? Do you have issues with the law? Like, these are things that matter. They 100% matter. It don't seem like it's important. It might seem like we just want to get through all the fluff. You want to have sex. You see somebody that's attractive and you get a vibe, maybe you don't. But let's just say, well, we ain't got to do that. The gentleman that you decided to have your children with, right? What kind of conversations did you have about having kids? Or did you have those type of conversations? Did you decide on how many you were going to have? Were they planned? Did you decide on what schools they were going to go to? Did you know what type of relationship you wanted them to have with religion, politics? These are questions that we kind of just skip over for some reason, and like you don't really understand how important it is until later on in life smacks you in the face with a medical bill, with car insurance, with court, a house fire, some type of environmental crisis that's out of your control. That's when you start to be like, oh, I never thought about that. Maybe we should have took this into consideration. Like I wasn't really thinking about that. And like the reason why I'm asking that question specifically is because you had a few kids. You didn't just have one child, you had multiple. And I mean, it's like, all right, you had one, okay, you had two, all right, you had three. At that point, I'm just wondering, Does anybody in that household notice anything off? Is the husband just that dismissive? Or are you just not that forthcoming? Or are there so many missing pieces here that we're not getting? Because if I'm attached to you, I decide that I want you to be my wife. I decide that I want you to walk down that aisle with me. I want you to take this hand in marriage. I want to go through hell and high water with you. I know it's my responsibility. I have to know everything there is possibly to know about this person. I'm about to share fluids with you. I'm about to exchange spiritual energy with you. I can't just be laying down with no regular person. I just can't be having my seed in a specific person. And I don't know if they crazy. I don't know if they rob people. I don't know if they got hate. You got to know everything about people. You had all these children with this person, and you telling me that you didn't see no signs? There was no indicators that suggested that this woman might not be okay. She might be crying out for help. Like, real talk. This is the difference between life and death. This is how you know if a person is really paying attention to you or not. This is how you know if you are dealing with a life partner or a roommate. You had multiple children with this person. How do we go this long without knowing whether or not this individual has things that needs to be addressed or not? I'm gonna let the rest of this clip play. Like I said, I'm gonna slow walk through this one. I'm not about to rush it because I want to do my best not to leave anything out. So let's continue on with the clip.
When it starts to get really scary, and we often talk about this in what we do, it's almost as if a vacancy comes over them. And this is often when we see a loss of reality. So when these delusions start, delusions that the world is not safe, delusions that they have to do something to change things for themselves. This is when we start to really worry about thoughts of suicide in particular, and sometimes when some of these infanticide thoughts can come up. So it can progress, but usually it's this rapid change in the way the woman behaves, but often she's not sharing it. So people are kind of watching and wondering.
It sounds terrifying, but isn't it also true that most women who have this do not exhibit violence?
That is absolutely true. And I really want to put a point on that. Okay. The in the media right now, the number that's getting quoted is 4%. So we're talking about 1 to 2 in 1,000 women after birth having postpartum psychosis, and then 4% of that. That's actually a misattribution of a citation. What it is looking at, what that paper was looking at, was actually only women with the depressed version of psychosis. So they got depressed, so depressed that they became psychotic. And that was the group at 4% risk. So we're not even talking about that 1 to 2 out of 1,000. We're talking about a small group. So it is rare. This is a treatable illness. When this gets recognized and treated, women get better. And the vast majority are not violent.
And this is where I ask the question again. You have multiple children with a person. I mean, even just having one is life altering. It's not Pokemon. It's not getting on Kick and TikTok and making. No. You got, like, there's too many factors that go into this. It's not a joke. How do you not know these things? All right. You're saying that, or you're suggesting that this is a rare symptom. Okay. Are you trying to give me the impression that this is so difficult to detect that she just had it this whole time and nobody ever knew about it? So she had all of these kids. Not at one moment was there ever an indicator that she had some stuff going on up there and nobody saw it. Is that what you're suggesting? Because it's such a rare condition. I'm gonna let you get your bars off.
During Lindsay Clancy's trial, a handwritten log she kept was presented, Dr. Riddle. She lists several psychiatric medications in this log and wrote at one point, awake all night with suicidal ideation. She was apparently aware that she needed medical intervention. How challenging is it for patients to find a psychiatrist who can properly diagnose and treat postpartum psychosis?
Hard. The answer is hard. This is not part of psychiatric training, NP training, PA training, psychology, or social work training. This is not something that is currently required as part of our education. So I sit on the board for the National Curriculum in Reproductive Psychiatry because we know people are hungry for this education, but it is not required. So it is hard for a patient to know when they're seeing someone that has the appropriate training, but it's also hard as a trainee or someone practicing to get this training.
So help me to understand something. She knows she has some issues. Okay. When did she find out? Did she always know? And if she always knew, is this a conversation that she had with her partner? Did they knowingly go into this still taking the gamble? Like, imagine you sitting at the table with someone that you potentially think is going to be your life partner, and they say, hey, I have postpartum psychosis, or I have something going on with me. I can't pronounce what the word is, but it takes me into really dark places. Do you think that after you had someone tell you that type of information, you would still move forward with such like callous attitude? You would just be like, oh, nah, yeah, it's off. We'll just brush through that. It's not that bad. You seem pretty normal to me. Nah, and maybe I'm just tripping, but it's like, all right, if you already knew this was going on, I'm going off the assumption that he knows too. Otherwise, why would you keep something like that from him? If you both knew that she had something happening here, why would you still proceed to put kids at risk for your selfish needs? See, this is the shit that I be talking about all the time. We selfish. We selfish as hell. You know why I say we selfish? Because we'll be broken. We'll have all types of issues emotionally and spiritually from past situations, past friendships. Maybe it might be medical. Maybe it could be a number of things. But before we fix what's going on in us, we will try to supplement that and bring other people into our world to kind of put a band-aid over it and forget, I'm still hung up on such and such, or I still have a temper tantrum. I'm still spoiled. I'm still a liar. I'm still this. The irresponsible shit. Then you bring other people into your stuff, not understanding how serious it is when you create life or you bring in third parties. We're about to get to one of the other reasons why I'm here too in the first place, because y'all hold up.
So if we're not finding the right diagnosis, we're not providing the right treatment, and that's a real problem.
Thankfully, these tragedies are very rare, but what do you hope comes out of these discussions, not only on postpartum psychosis, but on postpartum mental health?
Great question. What I really hope for is better training for both for our professionals. I also hope for better recognition, reduction of stigma, and really more investment in our research. When we look at the research that goes into women's health, it is 6% of the investment. Women deserve so much more, because when we can get women and families better, right? We get mom better, we take care better of baby, family, the whole family unit, and that has reverberations into the community and honestly into the economy. So these things matter tremendously. What I also want people to know is that these are treatable illnesses, whether it's postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety and OCD, or postpartum psychosis. There are treatments and people do get better.
And with that being said, nigga, you need to go to jail. Your ass need to spend the rest of your life in prison. You should never get to walk away free ever again. It's over. It's done. It's finito. You have forfeited your rights. Period. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You strangled them, and then you tried to jump out of a fucking window. Excuse my language. I know how y'all is over here. You tried to jump out of the window after your attempt to remove. That's the part right there that I gotta address. You knew what you did was wrong, and you tried to eliminate yourself so that you didn't have to be held responsible for your actions. And I'll even go as far as you staged it. You literally staged it. There's no way you're going to convince me that you could be so meticulous in what weapon of choice you would use to wrap around their throats and take all the air away from them until they no longer wake up among this dirt. And then you jump out of a window. But I'm supposed to believe, oh, I was just having a moment. Yeah, I'm sure you were having a moment. I'm absolutely positive that you were having a moment. Now, don't get it twisted. I know postpartum exists. I know women go through things. I know it's not easy. I know your body goes through changes. I know it's a mental toll. This right here is something different. This is beyond just I'm feeling sad, I'm this, that, and the third. There's no way as the husband, the man of the house, I'm not going to know something is wrong with you. Especially since you've been documenting that there's things that's not right with you. Clearly, we are like this. So if I know you got stuff going on, I'm going to do everything in my power to be very, very present to prevent the potential fatalities that we just observed here. Let the roles have been reversed. Let this have been a guy. Will we still be making this argument? Would it be this? what I found interesting about her comment was she said that postpartum psychosis is rare, but then in the same breath she says it's treatable. How can something so rare be that treatable? And if that was the case, how is it that she didn't know that she had what she had? As far as I'm concerned, she needs to go away. I'm not buying it. I think it's all a setup. I think they trying to give her a slap on the wrist because she's a female. I don't buy it whatsoever. Because to me, all of this could have been prevented. None of them kids had to lose their life. None of them. If she truly felt the way she felt, we didn't have to be here. The help was available. It was very available. That wasn't the option that she chose. She could have said, hey, husband, I'm feeling like this today. Let that sink in for a second. You felt like you didn't have nothing to live for, like the world was over. So there was no blah, blah, blah. It wasn't none of that. You were calm, peaceful, relaxed. There was no, you didn't show no signs of struggle whatsoever, right? So you went through all of that just as chill as possible. And then once everybody felt that false sense of security, that's when you turned it on. That's why, like, I don't believe a lot of this shit. Because if you going through something and you really like losing it, wouldn't you just snap or something? Like, come on. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. You thought about it. It was very, very thought of. And then you did what you did. You waited until you had them kids in a vulnerable situation where dad couldn't protect them. And then you did exactly what you did. But I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. I'm not a prosecutor. These are just my thoughts, alleged. Now, let's get to this part right here. This is the part that I really, really wanted to drive home before I close out. Because apparently the women and the sympathizers of social media, specifically the women, y'all felt sorry for her. You empathize with her. You got angry towards everybody on social media, the men specifically, because we said no, throw the book at her crazy ass. Send her away. This is what you had to say.
A black man You know what? It don't even matter that it's a black man. It's a little bit more disappointing that it's a black man, but a man got on TikTok and told black women not to take up arms for a white woman facing trial for her kids due to postpartum fill in the blank. That type of struggle ain't got no color. And we damn sure ain't listening to no man telling us what to care about.
Lady, do you even hear yourself? You more disappointed with the black man who was telling you not to support a child murderer than a child murderer themselves. Lindsay Clancy strangled her 3 babies, including an 8-month-old, with an exercise band while she sent her husband out on errands. And you women are getting on here making think piece after think piece talking about postpartum this and postpartum that, when those are not even like the claims that her defense is making. As a black woman, do you think these white women will get on here and make the same excuses for you if you was to kill your 3 babies? Y'all are trying to find any reason to justify this horror. No empathy, no sympathy for the children whatsoever, but Lindsay Clancy deserves all of the sympathy in the world. I swear to God, there's a lot of black women that will do anything in their power to not only uphold white feminism, but white supremacy itself. You start your video off by berating a black man who is telling you not to support a child murderer as opposed to the child murderer themselves. Then say, oh, we don't listen to no man. You guys don't understand this. What we do understand is if this is a constant, if this is the standard that you ladies are saying, y'all's the baseline for how y'all think that y'all emotions can go this way or that way, that we can't trust y'all around children, then at some point we have to honestly question why a lot of y'all have the right to vote. It's that serious. Now, I don't feel that way, but a lot of this content is making me feel that way. And as a black woman, like I said, they wouldn't support you if you killed your 3 kids, baby. So why are you getting on here throwing black men under the bus to support this white devil? Literally a white devil. Even the white people ain't supporting this woman, but yet you're going to get up here and sacrifice your reputation for a murderer who wouldn't give 2 shits about you. It's just like if I was to sit up here and support Chris Watts, you know, the white dude that killed his 2 daughters a couple, I would never, you don't see no black man on here supporting that, but you do see a black woman marrying that nigga now. Y'all need some help. What y'all need to do is get off this internet, go into the real world, live in the real world, spend some time with your kids, spend some time with your nieces and nephews. Get off this internet because it's making y'all insane. It's making y'all psychopaths. It's making y'all sociopaths. Because there's Lindsay Clancy woman, a woman that takes exercise bands and strangles her 3 babies, deserves no empathy. Those babies deserve the empathy and sympathy. Her ex-husband deserves the empathy and sympathy. And you bitches deserve a fucking straitjacket.
The shit is fucking nuts, man. It's extremely crazy. Like, that's why when a lot of y'all talk, nobody's really trying to hear it because you're speaking from an emotional place. You're angry. You just feel a certain way. So because you feel a certain way, that's just the way it's supposed to be. Nothing else makes sense. Nothing else matters. It's just what you feel and how you feel. And then it's at the point to where, all right, well, shit, we just gonna have to stand by this person no matter what, just because it's a female. No, what are you talking about? You strangled your kids. An 8-month-year-old. Y'all gave this woman $1 million. $1 million of your money. $1 million of, like, let that register in your head. The economy is fucked up. Bills, food, water, air, everything's expensive. Everything's expensive. Everybody ain't got it like that. I know I don't. She kills all of her children, sends her guy away from the house, which to me makes it even worse. Like I said, y'all talking about this postpartum BS, but how does somebody methodically think to send the protector away? You send him away so that you can do what you did. And y'all want us to feel sorry for her, feel bad for what she did. The same person who sat there, I don't know how long she was thinking about this. I don't think none of us will ever know. I don't know how long she sat there, wherever she was, and was just contemplating and thinking about it and battling that demon. And then just one day she just finally said, all right, it's time. That voice went off, said, all right, it's finally time. Let's go ahead and get this done. And she planned it out. Postpartum and all, she planned it out. Or you're just going to tell me, oh, she just randomly told this man to leave the house and then it went off. No. That was the perfect opportunity. And matter of fact, I go a step further. She did all of that while he was gone. So she must have timed it. She had to know that it was going to take him a certain amount of time to go to the store, do what he had to do while he was away, and get the job done while she was there. She knew that she would probably, she thought maybe that she would be dead by the time he got back and found her. That don't sound like somebody who was suffering through postpartum. That sounds like something else to me. And I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a psychotherapist or none of that. But y'all gave her $1 million. $1 million? Right. Okay. I hope justice is served. Real justice. Not no half-ass stuff. No slap on the wrist. You better not tell me, oh, she was diagnosed with a rare disease, and so we're just going to give her 5 months house arrest. And everybody who donated to that GoFundMe, y'all should feel ashamed of yourself. That spoke louder than your screaming, your TikToks, your rage baiting, your feministic hatred towards men, your misandry. All that spoke volumes. That means that depending on who you like or depending on how you feel, if I wanted to grift and I wanted to appease a specific audience, it wouldn't take me nothing to get you to do my bidding, because y'all just like that. It makes perfect sense. It explains a lot. You do realize that them kids can no longer walk, crawl, play. They'll never grow up. They'll never go to prom. When I saw that, I'm like, come on, this can't be real. Ain't no way in the world somebody does this to their children and then people just throw out their money. Here's $10, here's 15, here's 20, here's 100, here's 30, here's 40. Y'all really set up there and My thoughts and prayers go out to that family, especially the pops, man. God, you know what's weird about the whole thing? I guarantee you, someone is going to blame the guy. Someone is absolutely going to blame the guy for why they are no longer here. Ain't that about a bit?
Bang, 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 bang.
Somehow it's his fault. No, ma'am. You had 3 children and you knew you had issues. You should have never procreated until you handled what you needed to handle first. Now we're here. We're going to chop it up again, though. I'm out. Y'all be easy. I'll see some of y'all here shortly. I'm about to get back in this lab. I appreciate y'all for hanging out, though. I don't do this very often on TikTok, but I had to pull up for this one. Y'all be blessed. To the people that's watching me from YouTube and all that, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section. Love to hear what you got to say. I'm out.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches, taking pictures.